Hey, this is Zoe Scott, and I'm here at Popularity.
Can you talk a bit about the artistic growth you went through during the creation of the album until now?
The reason I called the album Woman on Top is because, when I first started writing the album, I had just come out of a relationship, so I was pretty blue about that. And the process of kind of writing the album really healed me and made me feel more confident again and more alive again, and like I was able to really achieve something on my own. And so that is what came out to writing the album. I wanted to write, a bunch of songs that I felt were really world-class. And I went on some courses with a woman called Suzanne Koch, who runs a thing called Songwriters Rendezvous. She's a publisher. And I would go on those courses every month. And that really helped me, develop as a writer during the writing of the album. I guess it was a deep process. It took a lot of soul searching and a lot of just, there were some affairs of the heart, and one of them was with an Italian guy who moved to Italy, and I'd write in these passionate emails, and then after I'd written the emails, I would take lines from the emails, my emails to him, and put them into songs. Mm-hmm. I based the song, my single, Hard Habit to Break, on him, and so that was kind of a fun way to learn to write. And I'm trying to think what else. It was kind of like therapy in a way, writing the album. I faced a lot of my own demons, and like each of the songs is almost like a little victory, because it's something I overcame. And I really did feel like I overcame a lot, emotionally and creatively, and just in this climate, being able to make an album with such amazing producers, I had Jim Scott working on my album, who he mixed the album, and he worked with the Chili Peppers and the Dixie Chicks, and then I had people like the Wax Team who worked with, I believe, Rihanna and Norah Jones. And I had two different teams, and I almost felt like on the production front, I almost felt like they were like the two sides of my personality, because the Wax Team are a bit edgy and punk rock, and my thing with them was I want to create woman rock. And then the Wizards of Oz, who have worked a lot with The Matrix, Avril Lavigne and all the rest, they're a very soulful team, and I felt like a lot of very emotional songs came out of the process of working with them, like Hard Habit and like Forget About Us, so.
Of everyone that you worked with on the album, who taught you the most valuable lesson, and what was it?
Out of all the people who worked on the album?
Yeah.
Well, I have a long relationship with Jim Scott, who worked on the album. He's been my mentor for a few years now, and he is constantly a great teacher. I think what he always teaches me to be really true to myself, and to really believe in what I'm creating, and to really dig in deep. He's worked with a lot of great artists, and I think he's like one of the main influences on my career, sustaining a career. So I would say, he teaches me a lot, but I learned something from every single one of the producers, Mm-hmm. I also wrote with the producers, and I learned a lot about writing also with them. So I think I think what I've learned is because when I first started writing the album, my label weren't sure whether they were going to give me a second album, because I've had one album out before, and I just was so committed to doing it. It was like something bigger than me. I really needed to write a second album. I really felt like I had a great second album in me, and I just went for it, and I went through everything during the recording over that 6 months. I had bronchitis a couple of times. I was exhausted a few times, but I just passionately believed in the album and the songs, and I think it came out fantastic. It's been nominated for Best Album of the Year at the LA Pop Awards. I think you really learn writing an album how to be really so honest with yourself, because I'm originally grew up in the UK, and I think British people are supposed to be good at hiding our emotions, but definitely being out in America and working with American producers and songwriters, you really learn that you've really got to let it all hang out. And if you're having a bad day, just turn it into a song. If a guy treats you badly, just write a song about it.
Has it always been that easy for you to be so honest, or is it something that you've had to work on?
I think it's something I really had to work on. I've done a couple of years of therapy since I've been single, and then this publisher, Suzanne Koch, she really pushed me. She's French, to be really honest, and and write what she calls streams of consciousness, where you just sit down in the morning and you just write exactly what you're feeling. And usually when I'm going through that process of writing what I feel, I'll find a line that really sounds like a chorus. Like I was writing a stream of consciousness the other day called, and I kept writing Another Sleepless Night. I was talking about a man, and I guess it's Another Sleepless Night. And then I realized, okay, I like that title for a song, Sleepless Night. And then I'll write these, streams of consciousness, and then I'll start putting them on guitar chords. No, I've never been. I wasn't this honest before. I'm getting more honest. The more ambitious I get about writing a good song, the more honest I get.
How do you know when a song's complete?
That's just an intuitive thing. Just an intuitive feeling. Some songs I carry around, like Woman on Top, the title song, I don't know if you've heard that on the album. It's just going over so well live. All the ladies just love it. And that song I was carrying around in my mind for probably a year. And I tried to write it several times, and I couldn't get it quite right. And I even went and saw Glenn Ballard, who's, one of the most famous American producers. He produced Alanis Morissette and Annie Lennox and Shakira. And I remember telling him, hey, I want to write this song called Woman on Top. And he said, that is fantastic. That's a great idea. You could pull that off. And it was 6 months after that. And then finally I committed to writing it with the Wizards of Oz. And I had a pretty strong sense of how I wanted it to be created. So some come out very fast and some come out slower, and just have a longer gestation period, really.
Can you describe your attraction to music?
My attraction to music is like my attraction to myself. I don't know, it's it expresses who I am. It's a sensual world. It's a world of colors. It's funny, I almost approach it a little because I come from film, trained in film, and my parents are painters. In some ways I approach it from a visual standpoint as well, because I see each of the songs as little scenes, and there might be something I've kind of gone through, a scene, and then I'll use the words to describe the scene. But, music to me, it's rock and roll, it's attitude, it's sexuality, it's sensuality, it's fragility, it's emotion, it's mojo, it's creativity, it's soulfulness, it's communication, it's multilingual, it's love. That's what I think music is.
What would you say you're trying to open people's minds up to with the album?
Life, freedom, liberation. They feel liberated, express themselves.